Hello, you guys. Alright, so when we're taking care of our foldable, please make sure that you cut out your 3 parts. So you have your title, you have your coordinate grid. Please make sure you make this a flappy, that way you can write information underneath the flaps. Also, you have your small triangle, as well as the table. Okay, so again, these are your parts that you need to have. Please keep in mind that you may stop the video. You can pause it and play back as needed. Okay, so again, make sure that you pause, stop it, replay it as needed. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So in regards to our translation, again, translation is a transformation. Slides the figure along a straight line. The image has the same size and shape as the pre-image, okay? So, congruency stays the same, okay? It maintains congruency. Alright, in regards to the information that we're going to place underneath the flap, so what you're going to do is you can go ahead and fold it back, like so. And we're going to write some information underneath. And again, the key thing is that it's a slide, so it will move up and down on the y-axis. Understand that if the figure moves up, you are adding. If it moves down, you are subtracting. Okay? So again, you can slide on the y-axis as well as the x-axis. And I apologize about my handwriting here. I have to squeeze it in. On the x-axis, your movement is going to be left and right. So if you're moving to the left, you are going to add. Movement to the left is always going to subtract. It takes us back to the number line, okay? Think about your number line. So on the number line, all positive numbers are to the right, all negative numbers are to the left. In regards to our rule, and I will tell you, you will hear the word rule and algebraic representation, but please understand that that means the same thing. So when we have the rule, it always starts with x comma y, transforms to x plus or minus k, because again it depends on your direction. Y is going to be plus or minus j. Alright, you guys, I do want to make a statement in regards to the autofocus of the camera. As I write, what's going to happen is that it's going to go zoom in and it's going to kind of go in and out. Just bear with me. Give it a moment. It will autofocus on its own. So, again, just bear with me. I appreciate you guys. Alright, you guys, so we went ahead and we took care of our information underneath our translation. Let's go ahead and take a look at reflection. So in regards to reflection, a transformation flips a figure across a line called the line of reflection. Each point and its images are the same distance from the line of reflection. The image has the same size and shape as the pre-image. So underneath our flap, we're going to actually write some rules or algebraic representations. So if it is reflected across the x-axis, your rule is always as follows. X comma y changes to same x opposite y. And understand that when we're looking at here, I know it looks like a negative or a subtraction sign, but understand that it means opposite, okay? Opposite of, okay? Now we're flipping it over the y-axis. Your rule of algebraic representation, you can always start with the same x comma y, and it's going to be opposite x, same y. Alright, you guys, so I do want to make sure that we write flip, because again, it is a flip, okay, across the axis. And again, just give it a moment just to kind of focus. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's apply this information that we just wrote down. That way we can make a connection in regards to the information, okay? So again, after you've written this information down, make sure you go ahead and flip your flaps down. That way you can go ahead and you can see your graph, okay? Alright, so first thing first, we are going to make sure that we write each one of our points, okay, on our translation and our pre-image. Again, pre means before, okay? So this is the original image. Pre-image means our original, okay? So first thing, we're going to write A. From that A, we're going to make sure that we write our ordered pair. So what is our ordered pair? Understand when we are writing our ordered pairs, understand that we go left to right before we go up or down. So we'll go over left, so it'll be a -4. So A is at a -4, comma, up to a +5. So again, point A is -4, comma, 5. Next up is going to be our point B. B is at -4, comma, 1. Lastly, point C is over at -1, comma, +1. So again, at this point, this is what you should have. And again, if you need to take a moment to pause, just to make sure that you have all the information correct, if you need to go back and replay the information, go ahead and do so as well. Alright, so at this point, you want to make sure that you have your triangle free and readily available. I'm going to go ahead and give you certain information, okay? So we're going to translate our triangle. We're going to translate it right 7 units and down 6 units. Once again, we are going to translate this triangle right 7 units and down 6 units, okay? So, first thing first, what you need to do is place your triangle on top of your pre-image, okay, on top of the original. Understand that as you slide your triangle, every time you slide it is going to be 1 unit or 1 square. So if I slide it down here, then that's 1 unit. Again, it slid down 1 unit, okay? If I slid it to the right, again, every time I go over a square, that is 1 unit, okay? Alright, so we are going to start with translating our triangle right 7 units. So we're going to slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I apologize if it's getting stuck to my finger a little bit, but again, we should have moved it 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So our point A at this point is right here, okay? Now we are not finished. We still have to translate our triangle down 6 units. So again, we're going to move it down. We're going to slide it down 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you might have to just manipulate it a little bit, but it should be at point A should now be located at a positive 3, negative 1. Okay? So again, this is our image. This is after the transformation, after the translation. Okay? So now we can go ahead and we can write our new points. Okay? I want us to get used to writing our primes. So, after a transformation has occurred, it is no longer A. It is actually A prime, okay? Now you're going to write your new ordered pair. So again, our point A is now at a positive 3 and a negative 1. Point B is located here, and it is a positive, again it's B prime. It is a positive 3, comma, negative 5. C prime is located here. So C prime, and it's located at a negative 6, comma, no, I'm sorry, a positive 6 and a negative 5. And again, it's a positive 6, negative 5. And once again, if you need to pause it, if you need to rewind, take your time. Go at your own speed, okay? Make sure that you have all of this and you understand what is occurring at this current moment. Again, we just did a translation of right 7 units and down 6 units, okay? So as we've actually moved the figure, okay, I do want to make sure that we plot our points, okay? So we are going to plot our new points, and we are going to label them. Do not forget, you must label your points. So again, I'm going to move this, and I know that I'm going to plot my point here. I'm going to label this A prime. B, according to my table, B prime is at a positive 3, negative 5. C prime is at positive 6, negative 5. So positive 6 down to a negative 5. Again, it's C prime. And after you have all of your points plotted, what you're going to do is you are going to connect your points to create your triangle. Alright, so you guys, we've actually translated our figure. We've plotted our points, A prime, B prime, C prime. We have our table done. At this point, what we need to take care of is actually taking care of our rule or our algebraic representation. Again, keep in mind that as you slide your figure on the y-axis, if it moves up, you are going to add. If it goes down, you are going to subtract. And I'm sorry, that's actually on the y-axis. So that would be adding, subtracting. As we go left and right on our x-axis, we are going to add or we are going to subtract depending on our direction. Again, our direction guides our operation, whether we're adding or subtracting. So, in this case, again, our rule always starts with x, comma, y. Transforms to x is going to be first, okay? Because, again, we move left or right before we go up or down. So, x, are we going to add or are we going to subtract? So, in regards to our x-axis, we actually went to the right. And since we moved to the right on the x-axis, we are going to add. Now you need to know how many units did you move, okay? So to the right, we translated or we slid 7 units. So we're going to add 7. Of course, you're going to have your comma. Next up is going to be our y. And we need to determine, are we going to add or are we going to subtract? Now, what direction did we go on our y-axis? Did we go up or did we go down? We actually went down, okay? So since we went down, we are going to subtract. And again, bear with me, the camera autofocuses on its own. So y minus our number. So how many units did we go down? We went down 6 units, so we're going to subtract 6. So our rule or algebraic representation that is specific to this translation is x comma y transforms to x plus 7 comma y minus 6. And I know I'm not really going into detail about it, but I do want to ask you this question. You can take a moment, you can pause. If we have a negative 4 as our x value, and we add 7 to it, will that give us 3? Does that equal to 3? Okay? If we replace the y with our 5, and we subtract 6, will that equal a negative 1? Okay? So on your own, take a moment to just do the math in regards to that, just to make the connection, okay, in regards to whether that is true or not, okay? All right, so just like we talked about point A, that negative 4 being substituted for the value of x, as well as 5 being substituted for the value of y. If you do the same thing with your x and y values on point B and C, see if that gives you our image points, okay? So again, that's something for you to try. Just take a moment, pause the video, and just try it out to see if it is true or if it is false. All right, you guys, so we've taken care of our translation, so now we're going to go into our reflection. And with a reflection, it is a flip, and it can be flipped across both the x and the y axis. So first thing first, we'll reflect over the x-axis so that we can take care of our table. So what I will say, first thing first, I will go ahead and take care of my table with filling in the information for point A. And again, pre-image means our original figure, our original image. So I'm going to write A. -4, comma, +5. B with a -4, comma, 1. C is a -1, +1. Alright, so make sure you have your triangle back in place. So at this point, we are reflecting over the x-axis. So again, you want to have it here. And with a reflection, it's nothing but, again, a flip. Kind of like turning a page, okay? So we are going to simply turn the page or flip our triangle. So understand when you are flipping it, and again, I apologize for it turning. Alright, you guys, so I have a quick question. As you can take a look, this is my figure here. The question to you is, did I reflect or flip over the X or Y axis, okay? So again, take a moment to think about that, okay? Again, we said that we were reflecting over the x-axis. So did I really do that? Okay. So pause the video for a moment. Answer the question and then play it back. Alright, so I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to go ahead and label my axes. So here's my X, here's my Y. Okay. And again, we said that we were reflecting across the X. So as you can see, I actually reflected over the y-axis. So I need to go back and I need to try it again. So I'm going to place my triangle on top of the pre-image, the original, like so. And again, you have to manipulate it a little bit. And again, it is a simple flip, like turning a page. We're going to flip it over the x-axis. And understand that when you are reflecting, it must be the same distance from its original. So as you can see, it's 1 unit distance away from the x-axis. It must be the same on the other side of the x as well. Okay? So with that being said, our point A is now down here. Our point A is here. So A prime, new location, is -4, comma, -5. B prime is here, and it is a -4, comma, -1. C prime is located here, and it is a -1, comma, -1. And again, if you need to pause, you need to take a second, you need to go back, please go ahead and do so. Again, you can do this at your leisure. So for a moment, I do want to kind of pause for a moment just to reflect on the information that we have written in our table. As we take a look, what do we notice about our 4s, our values in our x in the position, the x values? The -4 and a -4. What happened? Are they the same or are they different? The y values, let's take a look. One is positive, this is the original. Here is the new image at a -5. So again, did they stay the same or did they change? Are they opposites of one another? Okay, so that's something that we need to think about. And again, if we take a look at our x values in the next set, -4 remains a -4. +1 is now a -1. Take a look at it at the C position. -1 remains a -1. +1 is now a -1. So now we should be able to write our rule or our algebraic representation from the connection that we just drew. Okay. Again, it always starts with x comma y. Changes to again our -4 is still a -4. So again, did it stay the same or did it change? And as you can see, it stayed the same. In regards to our y values, we went from a +5 to a -5. They are opposites of one another, so it is opposite y. Okay, so now you should be able to make the connection between your ordered pairs and the rule. Okay. All right, you guys. So we do need to go back and plot our new points, our A prime, B prime, and C prime. So I'm going to remove my triangle. And again, just give it a moment to autofocus. All right, so our A prime is at -4, comma -5. So we're at a -4. We go down to a -5. And again, that is our A prime. B prime is at -4, comma -1. So -4, -1. C prime is located at -1, comma -1. -1 down to -1. And again, every time you plot your point, please make sure that you label. So once we have all of our points labeled and plotted, what we're going to do now is we're going to connect them to create our figure. And again, this is our reflection over the x-axis. Once again, just a reminder, if you need to pause the video, please go ahead and do so. If you need to play it back, go ahead and do so again. This is for your understanding, okay? So do it as many times as you need to actually understand the information. All right, so at this point, we are going to bring back our triangle. Okay, and we are going to reflect over the y-axis. So place your triangle on the top of your pre-image, your original. Okay, and again, you are going to reflect or flip it over the y-axis. And again, I apologize about that. Didn't quite flip very well for me. And again, once again, you want to make sure your distance is the same on both sides. So same as before, we are going to make sure that we write down our pre-image coordinates for point A, B, and C. So A originally is at -4, comma 5. B located at -4, comma 1. C is -1, comma, positive 1. And just for a moment, I do want to talk about in regards to just the size of the figure. I want to talk about when we flipped it across the y-axis. Did the shape remain the same size and the same shape? Okay? Did it remain the same size, same shape? As we flipped it or reflected it over the x-axis, did it remain the same size and the same shape? Okay? So again, that's a question to ask yourself, just to ponder for a moment, just to think about, did it? Okay? Now, I will tell you, the figure did not change in size. It is the same shape, same size. It's still a triangle, still the same size, same shape. Okay? So the congruency was preserved. Okay? In regards to the orientation is just kind of like the presentation of the figure, how it looks. Does it look the same? Okay? Are the points still in the exact same position? Okay? That's what we're looking for. So if your answer is no, the points change, they're in a different position, it looks different, okay, then you would say that orientation was not preserved, okay? Orientation did change. And I will tell you that as it reflected over the y-axis, did our points stay in the same position? That's something that we have to take a look at after we finish the table. Alright, so at this point, what we're going to do is we are going to now write our new ordered pairs for our new figure, okay? So A prime, ordered pair. First off, we have to make sure that we know our location. So A prime is up here at the top, and that is going to be positive 4, comma, positive 5. B prime is going to be here, and it is at a positive 4, comma, positive 1. C prime is located here, and it is at a positive 1, comma, positive 1. So at this point, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and make sure that we plot our new image or create our new image with our A prime, B prime, and C prime. So I'm going to remove my triangle. And again, just a gentle reminder, if you need to pause the video, please go ahead and do so. If you need to play it back, you need to rewind, go ahead and do so as well. So A prime is located at 4, comma 5. So to the right 4, up 5. A prime. And again, once again, please make sure that you label your points. B prime is at 4, comma 1, up 1. Last point is C prime. It is located at 1, comma 1. Over to the right 1, up 1. And that is C prime. So once we have our points plotted, we can now create our figure by connecting our points. Alright. So again, we talked about congruency, preserving congruency as well as orientation. And again, we want to take a look just to see, do they look exactly the same? Okay, are the points still in the same exact position on the other side? Okay, so A is here. Again, it looks different because C was originally on the right side, C is now on the left side. B was originally on the left side, is now on the right side. So with that being said, orientation was not preserved, okay? Again, orientation was not preserved. Again, the figure looks different than its original, okay? And again, it's going to be the same exact thing on when we reflect the other way. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look in regards to our rule or algebraic representation. So once again, I want to analyze the information. Again, we need to make a connection. We need to understand how do we get there. So if we take a look at point A and A prime, we start at a -4. It is now a +4. The Y value originally was a 5. It maintained the number +5. On B and B prime, X values -4 changed to a +4. The Y value was originally a +1. It maintained or stayed a +1. C and C prime, we have a -1 changed to a +1. The Y, +1, stays a +1. Okay, so from here, we should be able to create our rule, and it should make a lot of sense. And we always start with X, Y. And as we take a look at our X, what do we see that happened? Did it stay the same in regards to its sign? Did the sign stay the same? We went from a -4 to a +4. So they are opposites of one another. And since they're opposites, we want to make sure we put our sign in front. In regards to our Y values, did it remain the same or did it change? It remained the same, so therefore we're just going to keep it with the same Y. So again, this is our rule each and every time we reflect over the Y-axis. This is our rule every time we reflect over the X-axis. That will never change. As long as you have your rule and you have your ordered pairs, your pre-image, your original points, you will then be able to take care of your image, okay? Creating those new ordered pairs so that you can plot it on the graph and vice versa. And again, this is just a reminder, if you need to replay the video, go ahead and do so. Okay, if you need to pause it at any point, please go ahead and do so. This is for your benefit and your understanding. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening.